in blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to another video. Today I will be doing a short little mini review on the Fantasia brand using some of their color pencils, which I used to outline this little Animal Crossing illustration, and as well I used their normal color pencils afterwards. But for most of the review we'll be looking into their watercolor pencils, which I bought a while ago, so that's why they look used, because they are. But I haven't done a full review on them and doing kind of little illustrations as I'll be doing today. As always, I'd just like to remind you to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell if you like what you see so far, as well as leaving a comment and like after this video if you enjoy it, as well as checking out my links down in the description box to my shop, which isn't open yet but will open tomorrow after I upload this video, and my Instagram page, which we do a couple live drawings and little fun polls and quizzes on there, so you can go check me out on there. Right off the bat, you can see how pigmented these watercolor pencils truly are, especially when using the wet paper with color pencil over technique, which ended up being the technique that I used for most of them, especially for this Daisy May illustration. The one that I'm doing right now ended up being my favorite just because that's the one that I use the most, the wet with dry color pencil on top method. And I'm thinking of probably making some stickers of these to put on my shop. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a great idea. If so, and I get enough comments and requests to do so, I will probably make stickers, prints, etc. of these. Another method that I found these Fantasia watercolor pencils to be very useful is, as you can see, I scribbled with the color pencil, the dry color pencil, onto some tracing paper or vellum or any kind of paper in general. It can even be the paper itself that you're using. Mixed media paper is what I personally like to use a lot. But scribbling on the tracing paper and then going over it with the wet paintbrush and then going into the drawing with the wet paintbrush just to mix a color that I specifically wanted. Since I mentioned the mixed media paper that I am working with right now, I would just like to remind all of you that down below in the description box you can find a list that lists down all of the products that I use within this video, and as well as on all my other videos you can check out the description box for the list of products that I end up using. An artist who isn't super fond of using watercolor mediums within my work, not because I don't like watercolor. On the contrary, I love watercolor work. Am I good at doing it? No, not at all. But that's why I keep doing these watercolor videos. Personally, I think these Fantasia watercolor pencils were much more suitable for my art style than the watercolor creams by Bria Reese that I tried out in a previous video, which I can put a little card if you're on a laptop clicking on the top right to take you to that video if you're curious about that after this video. Preferably, please stick around for this one. But as I was saying, these Fantasia watercolor pencils are great for someone who is a beginner in the watercolors. They're not that expensive and not something that you need to commit to. They are also color pencils, so you can use them as a color pencil and just add water to it, or the way I was using it, mostly adding water to the page and then the pencil on top to create a more pigmented look. So an example of that is for the Daisy character, I did a lot of the wet paper with color pencil on top method. And for the Bob character, as you can see in those lilac tones, that was more of putting the color pencil down and then adding water to it. I do that a bit for the Merengue or Merengue, not really sure how you pronounce it, Animal Crossing character, and you'll see that later on. But as well, as I mentioned before, this technique of scribbling on the paper, adding water to that, and then mixing it onto the drawing was a really good way to get colors that these Fantasia watercolor pencils did not come in, such as really bright oranges or a pink or purple tone that I really wanted to use for these characters. After I was done with all the watercolor aspects, I added some normal Fantasia color pencils to do some outlining and details, as well as adding some white gel pen over the drawing. And with that, here's my Animal Crossing illustration with Fantasia watercolor pencils and some other Fantasia brands, as well as a white gel pen. Thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with your friends and family, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. See you in the next one.